one break between
Absolutely, absolutely. Right, okay. Now what we've got is this is the last of the thought structures. There's 4 more thought structures to come, so it's not quite the last, but they're all to do with design. Yeah? So it's 4 structures in a row that are connected. Okay? But we're going to do the last one first. This is about, it's a thought freedom technique. This is about choosing which thoughts to keep and which ones to let go of. Okay? Now, this is, UCLA did a study, and the average person has 70,000 thoughts a day, which is about 49 thoughts a minute. Most of them they're not conscious to, and obviously the subconscious thoughts that run our body are in billions and that sort of thing. So they're not really thoughts; they're just the machine working sort of thing. But the ones you are conscious of those thoughts, right, are the ones that are directing your outcome. Yeah? And if we want a great life, we must have quality thoughts. This isn't up for debate; it's a must-have. What the thought freedom technique does is takes each conscious thought and makes sure it's positive, and make sure it's not. This is not positive thinking. Remember, yeah. So we're just making sure the thought is taking us in the right direction. So what we got is step number 1: identify the current thought. Now, when you look at thoughts, there's like a. If you actually think about your thoughts, there's lots of them. Yeah, there's lots of fish in the sea. You've got a school of fish. Imagine your thoughts are like a school of fish. And what you're going to do is, there's loads of them in there. So you're just going to reach in, you're going to take one. You're going to take one thought. And what you're going to do is identify the current thought. And that's the thought you're sitting on at the moment, whatever it is. Right? And you're going to look at it, and the step 2 is it making you feel good or bad? Right? Because it works on the nothing stands still. Is the feeling helping you or hurting you? If it's feeling bad, then it's hurting you. If it's feeling good, it's helping you. Right, so you're just taking one thought, and it can be anything. It can be anything at all. Take the airport. Is that thought helping me? Right? No, it isn't. Right? Okay, so your feelings are there. They are there to help you. They'll guide you to where you want to go, but you've got to actually pay attention to them. Yeah, so what's going on in society is people are letting all of the negative thoughts remain present in their mind, and so that they can't, because they don't know which ones are negative and which ones are positive. Nobody's told them that you can actually go and take a thought, look at it, and go, well, this isn't helping me get to where I want to go, and I can get rid of that thought. Nobody's actually told anyone, right? Now, if the thought is talking to you, yeah, the feelings will tell you the truth. Your ego will lie to you, yeah. Because the ego's job is to keep you safe, keep you trapped in the past. Yeah. So what will happen is step 3. If it's bad, you just have to ask if it's helping you. If it's not, let it go. If it is, it's helping you, then great. So if you've got for example, if you've got a green fish, you leave it in there. If you've got a red fish, you don't need it anymore. You can put it over there in another pot, right? So that's gone, right? If it's bad and not helping you, you've got to rationalise with yourself and go, look, this thought isn't helping me, is it? So you talk to your colleague that's with you and go, look, this thought isn't helping us, is it? Right? And because you're shining the light on it, you have to consciously agree with yourself to let it go. So if take for you doubt your abilities, but this thought isn't helping me. So can we agree that this thought isn't helping us? Yeah. Right, so we can agree we can let it go, can't we? Yeah. Right? It's one thought at a time. Just one thought. So identifying a thought. It's a thought freedom technique. All you're doing is catching a thought. And
your thought on, a lot of people say replace the negative thought is that creates too much energy resistance.
I'm not bothered with it because you just get rid of the negativity, and if there's space, yeah, sure, create it. It's put something in its place. But it's the whole point is you just got to see the negative thoughts that you're taking with you. It's a process of going through. People say to me, "How did you do so much with your mind?" And it was I looked at one thought at a time. Or whatever thought was in the moment, it didn't matter what it was. I thought, well, is this thought helping me or is this thought hurting me? Yeah? So I'd sit there and I'd be shaving or something like that, and I'd think something would come up and I'd think about somebody and I'd have a bad thought towards that person or something like that. It's like, well, hang on a minute, why am I thinking like that? Why am I having a bad thought? Well, this thought clearly isn't helping me, therefore it's hurting me. So literally in that moment, it was like, well, there's no point in us having this, is there? Right? No, there isn't. It could be something small. So let's say you think, so you think something really tiny bad about somebody, right? And you think, oh well, I don't like the way she dresses or something like that. It's like, well, is that thought helping you? No. Well, if it's not helping me, then it's hurting me, right? So therefore, do we need this? Well, no, we don't need to do it, obviously. So we won't do that anymore. So now you've taken that thought out. Now, because you've taken that thought out, you're not manifesting more of those thoughts. Yeah. So what you're doing is you're cleaning your thoughts. You're going through and you're pulling your thoughts out and you're recognising them. You're catching yourself when you get it wrong. You're looking at a thought going, is this helping me get somewhere? No, it isn't. So you're recognising when you're looking at people and you're judging them and you're feeling bad and you're going and you go, does this thought make me feel bad? Well, she's wearing that he looks ridiculous or something like that. It's like, well, how is that thought helping you? It isn't. And all of a sudden, just by you cleaning your mind of these thoughts, you just become this very, obviously I'm not classing myself as a very attractive person, but you become, you attract people because you just become kinder. I'm still a very, very sarcastic person. You've all got to get out of jail free cards. There's no sarcasm being generated towards any of you guys. But, the more you know me, the more you realise I am very, very sarcastic.
It's a bit selfish, isn't it?
Yeah. That's it. So what happens is just by removing those, you're not creating more of them. So if you remove, nature abhors a vacuum. So by removing the thoughts that make you feel bad, what gets to go in their place? Good thoughts. Yeah, positive thoughts. It's not, you haven't put any effort into the positive thought though. But, if a bad one comes up in its place, it's like, oh, good, another bad one. How's this? And it's evaluate the thought. Yeah? And it's catch yourself thinking, whatever you're thinking. Yeah? And sometimes I'm thinking, let's say I was thinking, oh, right, okay, how do I fix the leak on that garage roof? Right? Well, is that thought helping me? Yeah, it is, right, okay. How do I get somebody else to fix the leak on that garage roof? Okay. How do I find, what's the best way to do it? And those thoughts, of course they're helping me because I'm solving a particular problem, but I'm solving it in my mind. Yeah. So those thoughts can be helping because we've all got to deal with everyday issues and that sort of thing. But anything that's derogatory to somebody else, so it can't be helping you, can it?
I'm feeling bad about the weather that day.
Well, yeah, exactly, the weather. I used to feel really bad. I moved to Cyprus because I hated the English weather. Right? So I was an ex-builder. So, I was an ex-double glazing fitter. So every day we'd go out and it'd be bloody raining. Typical. That means we're going to get really wet. So by 10:30, soaked to the skin. Right? You're still using the electric power tools and you're getting electric shocks and all this sort of thing because, obviously you're never going to die, are you? Right? And so,
therefore you are so enlightened. All the electric shocks in the brain,
yeah, maybe that's it.
Let's get everything out.
Enlightenment from lighting.
Side benefit.
But the problem is you've got this situation.
We are allowed to be sarcastic?
You are allowed to be sarcastic. I will might be mildly sarcastic back, but I won't be too. I'll let you win, right? So what you've got a situation where you're cleansing your thoughts, right? So I had this when I went to Cyprus. It was like, oh, thank goodness for that. And I went out there and it was sunny, and you have 340 days of sunshine in Cyprus or something like that. And you have the most coldest winters on earth. They're unreal. But anyway, that's another story. And when I came, it is Cyprus is very near Israel. Do you know where Israel is? Very near. It's about 80 miles. Yeah, 80 miles away from Israel. It's a little island. It's the world's biggest floating battleship, basically. Unsinkable battleship. The Americans love it. It's a strategic position of 4 continents. So the USA love it for the strategic position, and Britain's got military bases and all that sort of thing. Basically. So anyway, I went there, but I came back. But by the time I'd come back, I'd experienced 14, 16 months in the sun and that sort of thing. And I came back, but of course my mindset was, I'm happy with whatever's going on because whatever it is, I'm cool with that. And so, I looked at it. If I felt bad about the weather, of course that was a bad thought. Well, guess what happens when you feel bad about the weather? You get more feeling bad about the weather, and then the weather starts to affect your day. And so something that is completely out of your control is ending up making you have a bad day. So it became completely illogical for me to ever feel bad about the weather. Because I couldn't feel bad about the weather, because I knew the damn full well that I was creating more pain in my life by feeling bad about the weather. So it was like, the weather's the weather, right? What is it? Snowing? Great. What is it? Raining? Great. What is it? Sunny? Great. Right? It's all great, right? And the problem is that, living in Cumbria, it's like, you remember that yellow ball is, you came down here and you went, what's that thing up in the sky? Right? That's it, right? So you've got to look at it and go, well, okay, is that thought of feeling bad about the weather helping me? And then you just pluck on it, and you pluck it out, and you go, no, it's not, it's making me feel bad. If it's making me feel bad, I'm holding up my own manifestation of whatever I want in life. Right, okay, well, I have a choice then, don't I? I can stop feeling bad about the weather, or I can have what I want out of life, or I can keep this feeling bad about the weather. And when you show it to yourself and you literally rationalise it, it's like, this is pretty stupid, really, isn't it? And that's where I got to. It was like, as people say to me, aren't you bothered by the weather? Why? Right? But I used to be one of the herd with the weather. It's like, weather's terrible, I'm moving aside because the weather's so shit in this country. Right? But it's just basically it. But when you do that, your thoughts become aligned. Everything you're doing changes. It all starts to flow together. You instantly see a massive change in your life by just plucking out those little thoughts, right? Well, as you apply to every thought, you become conscious, and you find your whole life improves in all sorts of areas, because you've pulled out all of the little tiny thoughts, something as little as feeling bad about the weather. You've pulled it out, and then all of a sudden you don't feel bad about the weather anymore. So you listen there. I sit there in conversation, people going, the weather in England is terrible. When I was commenting that we've had 7 months of bad weather, right? I wasn't going, that's 7 months of bad weather. I was just saying, we've had 7 months of bad weather, right? People feel really stressed. Even my wife's been stressed about it. I wasn't stressed though, because it was like, it was the weather. It's got nothing to do with me. It's like, it's the weather, right? So by using this technique over and over and over again, all your thoughts are swimming in the right direction. Yeah, you're not being pulled this way and that way, and it's a mess going on, and you've got all these thoughts coming in your mind. Your thoughts become aligned, and it's a freedom. You get freedom from it, because now all of a sudden you've got no pain anywhere.
What happens if you can read the thoughts of other people about you, and you?
It's not my choice what they think. What you think is not my. It's not my business.
But you notice it and you get never affected, or? We interact with people.
It's not my rights, and not my. It's none of my business what other people think of me. Right? I'm doing what I do, right? And I will bring into my life people that like what I do and think that even though I might be this crazy person, I can help them, right? And that's it. And I will do all I can to help those who come to me. But the ones who, would think, look at him and that sort of thing, it's like, I can't help them. And I have it's not that I don't care.
Doesn't affect you emotionally?
It's not that I don't care. It's just of no benefit to me. And so, people, you could say, if you say I don't care, it's giving your ego something to hang on to. But it's like, it is of no benefit to me thinking about what other people think of me. I will do what I do, I'll do it my way. These are my rules, I'm playing my game. And if you think back to a kid, that's what you were as a kid. Yeah? Before you were programmed by society, that's who you were, that's what you were doing. Without any thought, without any effort, you're just doing it, that's all it was.
And there's, I'm sure
And the only way to change
there's a
all this
book.
why would you want it then?
Absolutely.
There's a book called What You Think of Me Is None of My Business.
Yeah, quite right.
It's-
Quite right.
That
I've read
sounds
it,
good,
yeah.
I bought the book. Okay.
You do this. This is the one that kills the ego, right? Because you kill off all of the bad thoughts, and the ego's screwed. Because it's like, I don't know how to beat this person. Because this is why the ego doesn't show up with me very often. Because it comes along occasionally, tries to, it waits along, and then an energy low. That's when it'll attempt to get me. And but basically, if you can actually be present enough to go, hang on, take the thought out. How is this helping me? It isn't helping me. Well, should we let this go then? But the ego has to go, the L rate, right? Because it has to go the L rate, right? You let it go. You just go through one thought at a time. You know, this is the problem. All you have to do is remember to notice. The problem is, but will you? That's the problem. But will you? You know, and if you can get round that, then effectively, this is the killer. This is the one. It's a little technique. It's a tiny little technique. But effectively, what this does is this beats the matrix. They're screwed. They haven't got a chance. They've thrown in the towel. You beat them with this because it's just like so simple. So it's simplicity. So you look at your thoughts. Why am I having this thought? Is it helping me? Yes. No. Right? Well, no, it's not helping me. Should we let this go then? Yes. No point in keeping agree. Is it? No. Down. The ego's going down. You go.
One question, and you never try to justify your actions also?
What do you mean?
Yeah. What shall I say? I mean, sometimes you do things and you have people you care about, and they don't understand what you are doing. So, as for instance, my what it is in English, mother-in-law, for instance, you know, she keeps.
Good luck with convincing them.
Yeah. So, okay, I got the message. My husband also says always, leave it. But, you know, I feel somehow I cannot be so
Well, this just goes
cool
back
to
Yeah,
when they
you're-
try and I try to explain, but somehow then he says.
One of the techniques we did yesterday on look at your expectation. You're expecting her to think your way.
And I try to educate her. So you think that
That's-
Well, no. You don't. You're forcing it. What you've got to do is be the change you want to see in the world. Right? So you just go and do it, and she'll follow. Leaders change. They change and they just do things, and people follow them. Yeah. You only just did it, and then people followed it. Yeah. So if you want to get, I've converted some of the most hard-nosed people to my way of thinking, not by putting any effort into convincing them, just making sure they saw what I did, right? And they were like, well, if he's done that, then I'll do this, right? And they move and they shift to my way of thinking. You know, and it's I've been able to help a lot of my relatives a lot more than I ever thought I'd be able to, just by being the change I wanted to see in the world. So that's it, and it's it's one of my favourite ever sayings. That is, and it's you do that, and you say. You don't even have to say I'm doing this. You get your husband to say I'm doing this to the mother-in-law, and then she'll see it and she'll go, "Oh, I don't think you can do it." You don't want to know any of
But
that.
he is not, I think he's not
not
honoring her. You see, he's sometimes telling her, no, leave this, it's our business, and I think this is very, you see, I'm educated to honor the family.
Yeah, but
members,
you
no?
can't, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. It's like it's her choice. Yeah, it might be an unconscious choice, but it's still her choice. So your job is to be the best you, right? Their job is to, be the best them. And at that point, they're not doing a very good job of it.
So you don't waste the time.
No, it's no benefit to me. It's no benefit to me. It is purely, where's the benefit? Where's the benefit for me in it? Right, okay, this is quite an easy one. I want you to choose a thought, any thought, and run it through. Choose another, then choose another. So you're going to choose 3 individual thoughts and run it through the system. Identify your couple. Is it making you feel good or bad? If bad, then ask, is this sort of thought helping me? If not, then rationalise with yourself, should we let this go? Because it's not helping us. Right? Then move on to the next thought, do it with the next thought, and do it with the next thought. Now we're going to do a little bit of imagination. Right, can you imagine how easy your life becomes if all your thoughts are aligned and they're all swimming in the direction you wish to go in? They're taking you towards. Can you imagine how easy your life becomes just by you identifying the bad ones, rationalising them, letting them go? Can you see yourself just noticing your thoughts? Can you imagine it happening and what the benefit will be? And you feel how good it is with everything going in the right direction. Can you imagine just how much every area of your life will improve without all those little tiny bits of baggage dragging you back? You don't notice the weather anymore, other than if you notice the weather you go, hey, It's great today, whatever the weather is. Can you imagine that? Let's think about it for a second, because this is powerful stuff. It's the tiniest little thing. And if you can just pluck the thoughts out of your mind, check they're positive, check they're swimming in the right direction, check they're not a redfish. If it's a redfish, throw it in the other pond. Yeah? Let the herd have that one. Just keep the green ones.
This is a wonderful picture with these fishes. Might be you can make it lively, you know, that somehow.
Wiggling around.
Yeah,
It was-
it's really so.
I only came up
present
with it
in my
literally
mind.
the other day. I thought, yeah, that's it. That's what it is. You know,
Perfect,
Let's
perfect.
think we're you know, it's just a mess. Okay. Right. Okay.